Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your beautiful program, The Untold. Of course, I'm your host, Abdullah Al-Hindiani. I'm joined by my colleague.
And I'm Nujeen Al-Athari, and today we're joined by Kasim Rasul, who is a fitness trainer, kickbox instructor, and a podcast host. So it's quite a bunch of things to have under his belt.
He is, mashallah, he's all into martial arts and the art form that, it requires, the patience it takes, the journey that it requires of you. So it's always a great time to sit down with people who are in a field that requires so much physical activity, so much physical taxing. It's a kind of sport that requires a certain level of confidence and the overcoming of your fears. So I'm so intrigued to talk to him and see all about it.
So am I. I think it's something that's both mind and body, and I love watching martial arts and seeing how it plays out. But it's something completely different to actually be the one who's doing it. And with that, I think we should just, see what our guest has to say about it.
Let's go. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to welcome Kasim Rasul for being our guest on The Untold tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Privilege.
It's wonderful to have you. And I heard that you do both kickboxing and MMA.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you, what got you into that?
I've always loved martial arts from being a kid. The cartoons when we grew up in the 90s, Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Bruce Lee. So I've always loved it. But then I followed the football route, mainly because my parents didn't like me to do martial arts. But then I got older, football, I got injuries, and then I was like, yallah, last chance, let's do martial arts. So I followed my dream. So yeah, went full time into it like 11 years ago. And it's just been an amazing since then.
I think you and I are kind of on the same route. For me, it's not as, hard trained or taking it as a, career path. But, I went into football for a little bit of time. I broke my leg, got a metal plate. And then I started watching, MMA. I started watching boxing. I even tried to enlist in boxing. So I do, kind of understand where you come from. Yeah. So I want to ask you, the first time you got into your fighting or training sessions, talk us through the emotions, talk us through the moment, how was it?
So I remember first I went to watch. So I went to the gym. It was my friend trained. He was like a professional fighter. He invited me to come and I watched and I was like, wow. You see on TV, but when you see the guys that are coming up, it's just all heart, dedication. They're not making any money. So this is all they're doing. It was amazing. I just sat there just watching and I was like, I need to do this, I need to fulfill the dream, because I watch it all the time on TV. I was like, okay, do it. Don't just watch it, do it. Try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, at least say you did it. So then I did my first lesson. The guys were amazing, welcoming. It was just a great training session, and after that I just fell deep into it. I haven't been able to leave since.
But what made you be able to stay committed to such a demanding kind of sport? For instance, me, I know I love watching it, but I would be too afraid to actually do it because I'm scared of getting hurt, you could say.
Martial arts, because MMA especially, because you have kickboxing, boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, so many different sports inside it and so many techniques. So just learn, there's so much to learn that motivates me to keep on training. Every day you're going to learn something different, and it's a long journey. To get your black belt in jiu-jitsu can take 10 years.
Mashallah.
So it's a long process, and for me, just to master it, it's going to take time. It's not a quick thing. You've got to put the time, dedication and years into it. And that's what kind of motivated me. I wanted to become the best. And the only way to do that is to put the time and effort into it. It's not one of them sports it's easy. There's no cheat codes. There's no hacks. It's only blood, sweat and tears, as they say.
It's all about the time you put into it.
Yes.
And speaking about the time, I know there could be some rough patches within this, kind of, path. Sometimes you're injured, sometimes you're feeling hurt, sometimes you're not feeling it at all. So how did you go about, finding the motivation to continue and put the sweat in, put the work in, to continue and persevere in order to pursue this kind of, I would say, very taxing path?
Yeah, like you said, the injuries come often in this sport, but it's just, you fall down, you get back up. That's all it is. You can't quit. If it's not super serious, if it's a minor injury, khalas, just get back up and go again, dust yourself off and keep on going, because you can't quit in life in these situations. You just got to heal up, get back, and when the coaches like mine, they don't give you a break. You go shoulders hanging off, Allah, get to training, so there's a good support team behind me, coaches that keep you motivated, and when you succeed, it makes you addicted to succeed even more. You remember what you achieved before. Okay, you have a little setback, but I want to get that again. So, yallah, you just got to keep on going.
Well, it seems like a lot of it goes into having the purpose, the enthusiasm, the fire for it, as well as the support team. And it seems that really keeps you going. But how about like before a fight begins? What goes through your mind? Do you have like a process? How does it work for you?
So the first fight was crazy because this is like, it's very daunting. You imagine you're in the back warming up and it's like, oh, because like, it's either you're going to hurt him or he's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
You know, he could knock you out. You could be, and like my family were there. My grandfather, it was like, and my grandfather, he made it even more nerve wracking because he was like, "Don't get hurt, don't." I was like, "It's not up to me. Like, I don't control this." So over the fights, I've got more experience and more relaxed, but it's still a scary moment. You know, you just you're taking in a lot. You have to keep calm and relaxed. You're going over all your training, your preparation. You have to have a confidence, but then don't be too overconfident. So one fight I came out to like rap music. I was way too hyped. You know, like I got there like 10 minutes before my coaches came out and I was like, oof. So afterwards I learned, you know, so there's a lot of emotions. You just have, like, martial arts is all about control. It took me years to understand that because when you're younger, like, you know, you're just like wild. But when you go older, you kind of control, you have to learn to control your emotions.
I love how, because I follow the UFC a lot, you know, one of the most recurring comments whenever a fight happens is that they describe the UFC as, you know, grown men finding therapy. Because this kind of sport is all about emotions.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, I remember an interview with George St. Pierre, which a lot of people consider, you know, one of the best or greatest mixed martial artists. And then the interviewee asked him, you know, how do you go into a lot of fights without fear and anything? And then he said, no, I stepped into all of my fights with fear.
Yeah.
So speaking about fear, how do you manage the fear, the pressure, the emotions that come to you before a fight?
So fear, you need it. It's going to keep you awake. It's going to keep you sharp. You know, if you don't, fear makes you train harder to perform hard. Because if you don't fear, this guy's going to knock you out. So you have to be fearful. You have to be, that makes you be 100% in it, because if you slack, if you do any mistakes, you're going to get hurt. So that fear is needed, but you need to control it. So you have the fear of you don't want to do any mistakes, but then like you have confidence in your training. You trained well, you trained hard, you know, you did all your preparations right. I've got good training partners, so alhamdulillah, I'm ready to go. But then you got to like, okay, don't get too overconfident. Everything's a balance. Literally, it's spiking every 2 seconds. Don't get too overconfident, because if you make a mistake, you're going to get hurt. It's just best to stay neutral, relaxed, and like you said, have that fear. It makes you more awake. You need it, because if you get too overconfident, khalas, it's good night.
Is it hard to stay neutral though? Because there's so many, like as you said, adrenaline, other things happening before a competition. Yeah. So you're trying to balance the fear, the confidence, make sure it's one level so you can actually focus. But how do you do that? Yeah,
it's very, very, very hard. It just shoots up and down as like the time goes. Honestly, like you wake up in the morning, it could be fearful, and you get there, and then like sometimes you actually see your opponent in the back. Like when last time I was getting my hand wrapped, and their opponent's there in the same room, and it's like, oh god, like, you're trying to give him like dirty looks, like, you know. So there's a lot of things, and excitement, and then obviously the music as well gets you going, and then when you start warming up, so the closer the fight gets, the more serious it gets. Like I won't talk to anybody. My coach, he's good. He talks to you, just keeping it relaxed, but it just gets more serious as you go along. And then like when you walk out, you've got the music. You know, people are chanting, and you know that's when it starts getting real serious. But it's all like martial arts. That whole philosophical thing is about keeping calm, relaxed, but like really 100% focused. There's no games, you know. In this, like you do one slip, you could head kick you in the face, and you know it's Layla Saida. Like you said. So,
yeah. I remember one time I signed up for boxing class, and then I was there for 2 weeks. And the thing that I learned about myself within those 2 weeks is that I really hated getting hit in the face. Yeah. So what has competing taught you about yourself? You know, something that nothing else could have found for you.
Like you said, it's just the push and the desire, how much you want it, because you do get a lot of punches, a lot of kicks. It's a very hard sport, grueling sport, very demanding. It doesn't pay unless you get to the 0.01%. You know, there's hardly any money in it, but you just got to keep on going. The love for the sport, the determination, and for me, the will to learn new techniques, to master it. It's going to take a long time. You just got to keep on going. It's what I teach my students now. Like I said, black belt could take you 10 years. You got to put the effort. If you want to really do something, and like, not just short term. I started like sports when I was like 14, 15 as a footballer. Alhamdulillah, by the time I got to 30, I got 15 years of experience of coaching and playing. So I say to them, why don't you do that when you get to 30 or something? You've got 15 years of experience, you know? That's what I want, just like mastery, but end goal. So inshallah.
Sure.
Well, I think a lot of people, when they look at martial arts or any kind of fitness thing, they have a lot of ideas in their brain about how it's going to go or how they're going to do or how long it takes to learn things. So what would you say are the biggest misconceptions people might have about fighting or fitness in these kind of ways?
So like a lot of people that train like martial arts kickboxing, you don't have to fight to learn this, you know. You can do it for fitness, you can do it for self-defense. You don't have to fight. So that, and some people like the cardio aspect of it, they just see it as a cardio workout, but it's a lot more than just cardio. You know, the movement, how to move your body, how to do high kick, the flexibility required, the power, the strength. There's so many different aspects of martial arts, what it can teach you. Obviously, you got the mental aspects like confidence, you know, the confidence to be able to protect yourself, the discipline, mainly the confidence though, to know how to protect yourself, your loved ones, you know, so you're not scared in a situation. It's very relevant.
Yeah. And also, you know, for a lot of fighters that I see, one of the most common comment they say after a fight is that mixed martial arts saved their life.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, how did, you know, MMA and kickboxing, you know, taking this path in general, bled into your everyday life, like some habits or some discipline you took from that life and you adjusted and implemented into your daily life?
Made me a lot more calmer. Honestly, when I started martial arts, I lost all my road rage. There's no road rage because you spend all that energy in the gym fighting, all the anger, all that like nonsense just goes out of you. And like, if you like, alhamdulillah, my coach was a really good martial artist. It's all about being disciplined and respectful. Like he would always shake everyone's hands, you know, nod to everybody. How to be really, he had manners with everybody, his students, his coaches, people around him. Like the real ethics of a martial artist. Be calm, be respectful. Just because you know how to fight doesn't mean you tell people you know how to fight. So that one of my things, even when I saw him, is like, people shouldn't know you're a fighter, or they shouldn't know you're a fighter when you're in the cage. Outside, you're just a normal human being. Because I know some people, they walk like a fighter, you know, they talk, they want to pretend like they're... No. Real martial arts, you be humble, you're respectful to everybody. And then when it comes to the time to go to fight, then it's fighting. So a lot of the internal stuff, the manners, the respect, that's what's changed my life, alhamdulillah.
So how can people use the training or the martial arts to kind of improve their mental well-being?
Like I said, it's a great stress relief. It's a great stress relief. So stress relief, calmness, confidence, and a lot of people say like it releases everything, you know. So it's great for the mental stress levels, confidence, happiness as well. It gives you endorphin rush. The endorphin rush from martial arts is unbelievable. You know, the happy hormones.
Yeah.
You feel good. You burn a lot of calories, 70% more than weight training. You know, you feel good about, and you're learning a skill set physically, mentally. It's great.
Well, I feel like you're going to be a great advocate for this as well. You should probably get everyone to be like, just do martial arts. You're going to have such a good mentality, feel good, no road rage. I feel like that's something a lot of people need in this country.
Honestly, I'm trying it because a lot of people are bottled up.
Yeah.
You go through your daily life, your weeks, your daily routine, and you've got a lot of anger and everything bottled up. And a lot of people don't take it out. Okay, gym does it a little bit, but when you're punching something, and my clients are kicking me and punching me literally, afterwards they're like, hey, and I'm like, oh, guys, but they're happy, they go around their way. So no, honestly, that's what martial arts is. It's unbelievable. I've done it over the last 20 years, alhamdulillah, I've been an athlete. And for me, martial arts is the thing that was most relevant. Not just fighting, but my life. So alhamdulillah, yeah, everybody get to it.
I mean, that's, I think, a really great thing to leave us with when we go on this break. So everybody get to it, and let's take a break.
Thank you.
And we are back talking all about martial arts. And I do want to ask you about something, because as much as martial art is a physical kind of activity, but it also requires a lot of mental capacity as well. So how would you say, you know, you're approaching martial arts when it comes to maintaining a good headspace, maintaining a well-balance? Because I know you said it maintained and gave you the ability to be calm, to be humble, to be confident. So how do you go about tackling the mental aspect of martial arts?
So when you like fighting, like I said, the mental is everything martial arts. Like if you make a mistake, you have to be calm enough to keep on going. Don't let the mistake affect you, because if once that happens, everything's going to go downhill. So say if I get punched in the head, am I going to let it affect me and then everything goes smashed, or I'm going to just stay relaxed and improve? And the other side to that, if I do something good, if I get too overconfident, I might lose. I might get hit then. So I make a good move, but then I have to stay relaxed and keep on doing it. So everything in martial arts is a balance. You can't get too overconfident. You can't become fearful. So there's a massive balance that's needed, and it takes a long time to get there. I lost a fight made mistakes to get there, you know, because when you're winning all the time, you're on a big high and you think you're like the best in the world, you're Muhammad Ali or something, yeah. Then you lose, it brings you down, you're humble. Now you can like just become level-headed and, you know, calm.
So is losing very important as well?
Yes, very important. You can't learn and progress if you haven't lost. You know, you lose, you learn from mistakes, it improves you as a person. Like for me, and I know a lot of people, same fighters, they've got a massive ego. They lose, khalas, they just become level. Honestly, having this big ego and thinking you're Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson, it's Conor McGregor, it's dangerous. So losing, learning from that makes you humble, makes you focus, because you never want to lose again. You know, that feeling when you're training, you're like, okay, I lost. I don't ever feel that. Even when I'm in training and say somebody kicks me or I make a little mistake, I don't go to sleep. You know, I'm like, oh, he kicked me, you know, I need to stop that. How do I block that? YouTube, how do I stop this, you know? So it keeps you focused, it keeps you prepared. So losing is huge. I think everything in life, you know, whether you say you go for a job interview, you don't get that. Next time you're going to make sure you do something different in your approach, the way you talk, the way you handle yourself, you know. So losing is huge in life.
Yeah, and especially like you said in martial arts, because you know I remember Islam Makhachev, which is a lot of people consider the best mixed martial artist currently, you know, in the world. He lost early in his career. Then they asked him about it. He said, if it wasn't for that loss, I wouldn't be here, because I took my weak points and I made them to my strong points. So like you said, losing when it comes, especially in terms of fighting, it shows where you are weak so you can work on it, as opposed to just winning by, you know, knocking at people out fast, submitting them or whatever. It shows you your weaknesses. Yeah,
definitely. Everybody, like I said, when like Islam was winning and you're on a super high, the whole world thinks you're unbeatable. You think you're unbeatable, like nobody can beat you. And then one mistake, like martial arts is one of these things, it's one mistake. So when I was playing football, maybe you're losing 3-0, you come back, you could win. Martial arts is nothing like that. You could be smashing your opponent, one punch, one mistake, khalas, it's finished. So this is why, like, you know, losing, maybe you get too confident, you rush forward, you get too excited. Everyone's been there in martial arts. So this is why, like, losing, and then next time he became better. After that, he's never lost again. So he's learned from that. He says that, he speaks about how the loss improved him. So yeah, so it did a lot for me as well. I was really, my loss was before a British title. So I was super overconfident, made mistakes, and then afterwards, alhamdulillah, I didn't lose ever since. So it is, alhamdulillah, but it makes you a better person, honestly. Like the ego kind of goes away, and alhamdulillah.
Well, it's really great that you can kind of find the humbleness from all of this and like find, as you said, a better way for yourself and to learn from the mistakes. Because even as you said, everything in life, there's going to be ups and downs. But because the stakes are a bit higher with martial arts, like I said, one kick and it's over. Like you can't just turn the situation around. So it really causes you to look inside yourself, I guess. And you mentioned like doing British competitions and stuff. But so what brought you to Kuwait? Like when did you come here? Like
I came here 4 years ago. Crazy story about Kuwait. So I've been in the Khalij for 21 years. Like I grew up in Dubai, lived in Qatar before COVID. But then I was in Manchester and my best friends, who I just met in a restaurant, were all Kuwaitis. They were all studying there. So for 6 years, I was best friends with them. And then COVID happened and then I was applying to jobs in the Khalij, and Kuwait was the first place that came. And I was like, okay, my friends and best friends are all Kuwaitis. Yalla, let's go. So because of them and alhamdulillah, the hospitality, they were super caring. We were always together in Manchester. I was like, yalla, let's go. And alhamdulillah, 4 years and don't want to live anywhere else. Alhamdulillah. So I think last week was my 4th anniversary, and I'm loving it. And I'm like, honestly, don't want to be anywhere else. Alhamdulillah.
I mean, honestly, alhamdulillah, I think Kuwait has a very unique kind of place. I'd say the location is beautiful, the food is great. You have, you know, access to so many different continents if you want to travel. You know, you have safety and everything. It's really beautiful and amazing here, especially the food. You know, I want to go back because Jay knows I can't stop talking about the food. But it's so good.
The Kuwait, mashallah, like my life now has everything I need: the peace, the security, the food, the majboos diyai, the majboos laham. Guys, I'm still recovering from Ramadan. You know, the lokimat. I had about 50 lokimat and cheese samosas every night. So no, everything, the culture, hospitality, the safety, the vibes, alhamdulillah, it's everything, you know. And my family came, my mother and my sister, and they loved it. Honestly, you know, it was just beautiful. And everything, like when I'm posting, it's just a great life, alhamdulillah. And the people around me are great, and the vibes, everything, mashallah, it's just everything everything I need, and you know, when you're waking up to the beach, the palm trees, alhamdulillah.
But also, you know, because the fight scene in Kuwait is, I would say, kind of emerging, right?
Yeah.
Because we had a little bit of local activities within boxing world. I know we've had a little bit of kickboxing, and now, mashallah, we have people in PFL Mina.
Muhammad Al-Agra.
Muhammad Al-Agra, yeah.
Mashallah.
Yeah, mashallah. So it is on the rise. So how do you say, or how is your perspective on the fighting scene here in Kuwait and the future prospects for it?
So over the last 4 years, obviously, jiu-jitsu is very good in Kuwait. Alhamdulillah, there's a lot of fighters. They're going international. They're winning a lot of titles. Now, like you said, MMA. Shout out to Muhammad Al-Agra, mashallah. He just won PFL, the first Kuwaiti. To win it. And I spoke to him recently. It was an amazing conversation, amazing character. I say this because we want the same vision of, inshallah, inspiring the next generation. You know, he had a very good viewpoint of helping the next generation to build, not just as fighters, but as characters as well, to be good men, good people. So, you know, we're building that next generation of MMA fighters, and they all, because they see Muhammad, they're like, I want to do that. You know, you need that one person. And alhamdulillah, Muhammad just won it. He's training with Habib and Islam, you know. So they see him do it now, they all want to do it. They've got their first, you know, role models. So mashallah, they're a lot of good fighters, a lot of strong fighters coming, and athletes coming now in martial arts in Kuwait. And inshallah, the sky's the limit, and a few of us are working together to try and create the opportunities for the next generation. So inshallah, there's going to be a lot of good fighters, inshallah.
I mean, I have to say, I don't really know that much about the fighting scene in Kuwait. It's not really my forte, but it's really great to hear that it's like really emerging and it's becoming a thing. So what's your experience kind of as, you know, training the future generation or showing them the ropes to get to where they want to be? How's that been for you here?
It's an amazing journey to be on, to share my experiences for the next generation, you know, different stories where maybe they haven't had that before from anybody. So, but they're taking it in and they're loving it, and they see, oh, okay, he's done it, I want to do that, how do I do that? And obviously I'm a personal trainer, so I'm training them and coaching them, and they're taking it in and they're loving it, to see that there's a path and where I can get to if I train hard, you know. And I train a lot of teenagers, and they're loving it, and they see the benefits, even if they don't want to become a fighter, just as a martial artist, to learn everything in this world. Honestly, they're really taking it on board. So inshallah, we're coming.
Yeah, it is. And like you said, you know, it requires like that one spark, because, you know, Muhammad Al-Agra, like my younger cousins who have no idea about, you know, anything about mixed martial arts, they show me TikTok videos of him when he won the title. I was like, and then they went to their mom, they're like, sign us up for kickboxing classes. I'm like, okay, you're kind of going on a speedboat, but but the spark is there.
No, alhamdulillah, I don't want to say, you know, the parents still want them to do their education. You know, don't get your parents' permission first, always. But no, like I said, you don't have to become a fighter to learn martial arts. And Muhammad, when Muhammad, he got his degree in the US, so he still did all his education. He did engineering, I believe, so he did that, and he's training. So it's good to have that role model, and he's trained, like, I think he's dedicated like nearly 10 years or something outside, training in Dagestan in America. So he's did it, but for them to do it and get involved, because before it wasn't a thing, martial arts, but now they see something and they want to try and learn the skill sets, which, like I said, for discipline, for self-defense, for confidence, martial arts is the way, honestly.
It's now because people can see it as a, you know, eligible career path. So now parents are not as afraid. But, you know, I do want to switch the conversation to another part, is that me and Lujain are the presenters here, but we can definitely switch seats, because you as well have a podcast.
Alhamdulillah.
So talk us through the podcast, like, you know, the decision came along to create it. Like, how did you go about everything?
So obviously podcasting is huge around the world now. And for me, I enjoy speaking. And then I thought, with these athletes, I want them to go into international stage, same as yourself, through English, because I know some of them want to get sponsorships from, you know, the English countries, and they need the English platform. And alhamdulillah, as my 20 years of being a coach and an athlete, you know, I think I'm credible to speak with them. So that's who I've spoke to, like Kuwaiti Olympians, Suad Al-Fakhan, Yasmin Walid. She was like the only Kuwaiti to get a gold medal. Muhammad Al-Agra, Sons of Yusuf. I was at ADCC, which is a massive jiu-jitsu. So they would target, and they loved it. They wanted to come, they wanted to talk. So that was my thing, to inshallah get these Kuwaiti athletes onto the international level, to speak to them, to speak in English. They all wanted it, and alhamdulillah, it's just been great. And like Muhammad Al-Agra, alhamdulillah, because he's a fighter, I'm a fighter, I'm a coach. Well, it was a really an amazing conversation, you know. So that's kind of my thing to, inshallah, get them out there onto the international platform.
I mean, that's amazing. And it's really great that you're using your platform to kind of promote these people and get them to kind of pursue their goals even more. So what's it been like for you being able to talk to so many different types of guests and stuff and helping them achieve this?
It's amazing, alhamdulillah. It's one of my ways to give back to Kuwait as well. You know, honestly, like, I'm here, you guys have done so much for me, to give me the opportunity. I'm like, yallah, okay, let's give something back to Kuwait. You know, and to be like, Dr. Suad Al-Fakhan, she's a rower. Yasmin Waleed was an athlete. You know, every different sports. So I'm learning them. I'm doing my research onto their sports, their background. So it's great to talk to people in different aspects and not just martial arts. You know how it is. You get different people, different personalities, and it's like, wow. And like, I didn't know all the work that's behind a high jumper, behind a rower. You know, Sons of Yusuf with a Kuwaiti hip hop group. Yeah. Where did you? And they were teaching me all about the Kuwaiti culture of darwish, and you know the different instruments and how that. And I was like, it teaches me more about the Kuwaiti and the Arab history, you know. So for me, it's just I love the journey. Alhamdulillah, it's great.
Alhamdulillah. You know, we're always happy to see people from different sides of the world come to Kuwait and share the beautiful country we know as Kuwait, and to experience what we experience on daily basis. So we do want to thank you for that, for sharing your beautiful words about the Kuwait country, but also for being our guest on the Untold tonight.
No, thank you. Alhamdulillah, thank you for having me. And it's great that even like you're giving opportunities for people in Kuwait to doing stuff to showcase and talk positive. So alhamdulillah, it's one goal to bring Kuwait up, inshallah.
Yeah, no, inshallah. And I feel you entirely, because I learn a lot from the guests as well. Like, you get so many different perspectives, different things that you may not normally approach in your everyday life. Yeah. So it's a really interesting experience. Yeah. And thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Can I do one shout out to my students, please?
Go ahead.
So my Kuwaiti students, I love them. They're all the little ones doing martial arts, and I do it when I'm behind, like after my fights, and just like JJ, MJ, AJ, Ghazi, Muhammad, Tariq. Love you all and your families. Keep training hard. Thank you. They're all like little kids, like 10 years old. And,
well, as you guys see, you can go pretty far, so keep doing what you're doing. And with that, we are going to take a quick break.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that's all of the time we've had on The Untold. But I did enjoy our episode with Jane. It was fun talking to him.
It was amazing. Qasim had such amazing energy. He had so much passion and fire for what he does. You could tell the way he talked about it, what he does. It was just so inspiring to talk to him.
It was, and I was so happy to see that he was so passionate about spearheading the martial arts scene, especially here in Kuwait locally. I'm so proud about being a part of that, to have the conversation with him and give him the platform to advocate for it. I was so greatly, admired by that.
Me too. I loved hearing what he learned from it, how it helped his mental health, his well-being, as well as his fitness, but also how he was able to really enjoy his time in Kuwait, what brought him here. It's pretty funny that his best friends he made in the UK are living in Kuwait, and he came here and he's loving his experience here. And as you said, he's really helping shape the next generation of people who want to do martial arts in Kuwait.
He was. We are very thankful for him. We're thankful for the beautiful words he said about staying in Kuwait and about Kuwait in general. But that's it from us, the team of The Untold. Until next episode, goodbye for now.
See you next time.